It doesn't ensure justice, but it lets the community and public know that, hey, these were abusive priests, and maybe you're a victim out there and you see your predator priest on the list. That might give you the ability to come forward. One of the things that did disturb me, though, and I think it was their lawyer that made the comment, that if you're abused, whether it's by the church or by a public school or by somebody else, that you can come forward and tell your abuse to the church. Absolutely not. Let's make this clear. If you're a child that's sexually abused, you or your parent need to call the police. You do not call the church anymore to report sexual abuse. I mean, that was disturbing. But I understand where they're coming from, but no, you call the police if you're sexually abused. But again, releasing the names will help some victims come forward and give us a better idea of how many victims we really have out there across the state.
Do you think the loss of faith in the Catholic Church as an institution, will that ever be recovered? And how do you do that?
The only way that they can recover right now is to continue to be transparent and finally support my legislation that will give victims the opportunity to truly heal and receive justice. Unless they take those final steps, I think the public really understands that, you know, a lot of this is what they're doing is just kind of like gamesmanship, and because again, they're on the heels of this grand jury report coming out, they have to do this. They have to start finally releasing information. Now again, it's taken them 30 or 40 years, which is disturbing, but you know, at least this information is coming out finally. And again, one of the things that Bishop Gaynor did today, which I respect, was waive the confidentiality agreements between victims and the church, so allowing the victims to be able to come out and tell their story.
And you know, the church has fought this pretty vigorously to keep these names from being released. Mm-hmm. What do you think, what happened here that they at least made a partial about face?
Well, I think Bishop Gaynor understands that a lot of these predator priests are going to be named in this grand jury report. So why not come out in front of this right now, you know, and try to, you know, be somewhat transparent before this report comes out and say, you know, we're going to do the right thing. But he understands that a lot of this information is going to be disseminated very shortly. So I think for him, it's just a matter of getting out in front of it and trying to communicate to the parishioners that, hey, we're doing everything we can to protect children moving forward right now. But that does not take away their responsibility or accountability to take care of the past victims that were sexually abused, and these bishops that covered it up. You know, these you know, victims need the opportunity to go into a court of law and get justice. And Bishop Gaynor has the influence here in Harrisburg to reach out to legislators and say, you know what, I'm not even going to support the advice of my advisors and make these do these recommendations that they're going to, you know, tell me that I should do in the church. But you know what? I'm also going to listen to the recommendations out of the grand jury and support them to really give victims the opportunity to heal. If Bishop Gaynor can do that, then we as a community of abused victims, then we can move forward, because understand that what the Catholic Conference is doing is not just blocking justice for Catholic victims, but they are blocking justice for all victims across this state. Jehovah's Witnesses, victims that were abused within the family, in public schools, they are the ones spending millions of dollars of parishioners' money, and they continue to do that to block justice for all victims.